welcome to the Ideal Forever Partner Magnet podcast, the show where we explore the infinite benefits of creating the relationship of a lifetime, attracting our ideal forever partner like a magnet, and living our best life as the highest and best version of ourselves. I'm your host, Arell Holloway. I'm the results coach, fitness expert, former real estate investor, and founder of UTAIY, Unveiling the Angel in You, and the World Impact Compound Movement. This podcast is for overachievers and romantics that never learned the art of love relationships. That was me. Anyone wanting to improve their relationships and receiving and having, as well as giving unconditional love. And the biggest impact I can make in someone's life is to teach them how to manifest their ideal forever partner. So with this podcast, I'm dedicating to help souls around the world wake up to who you really are and what you really want in life, helping you on your path of learning about unconditional love by creating significant epic relationships that generate happy memories. The topic for the day is, are you a high-level person with low-level habits? Are you still wondering why you're not getting high-level results? Arell's golden nugget. If the methods or tools you're using don't lift you and others up, then it needs to be replaced and upgraded to one that does. That's from yours truly. First off, is that even possible to be a high-level person with low-level habits? Do you remember the kid in school that always got straight A's without ever really trying? Or at least they made it look super easy. When a high-level person has high-level habits, it's just like that. Everything looks easy to them. They have done the hard work already over time. The hard work is training to develop high-level habits. Once these are in place, then most tasks are easy to manage and it makes everything look effortless from the outside. What does this mean to be a high-level person? A high-level person has the mentality of a master problem solver. They don't get weighed down by a problem and always focus on the solution. Has a character that always considers the greater, always has the big picture on their view screen. Looks for trends and the direction things are moving in. Has a strong respect for human beings and avoids judging and criticizing. Has the mentality of lifting others up. Seeks win-win-win situations, solving multiple problems at once and not just to their benefit. Seeks commitment with their ideal forever partner and honors that commitment with every fiber of their being. Acknowledges what is most important and valuable in life, even if it may seem mushy to others. Is not intimidated by intimacy and welcomes it when appropriate. Is not ruled or controlled by what others think and have their own beliefs and ideas. Has limitless ideas that allow them to transcend conventional thinking and limits. Want the world to be the best place it can be. Always trained to be the highest and best version of themselves. Take a stand for truth, even if it means their death. Silently root for the underdog because they want the world to be wonderful for everyone. Are leaders and don't follow others like sheep. Are visionaries. Influence others with their strength and leadership. Have a positive mental attitude. Have a laser focus on success. Are consciously, creatively constructive. and they strive to become better and better always. Can anyone become a high level person? Absolutely. It's all in a person's actions and behaviors, as I just listed and described. A high level person with low level habits is always struggling to remain being a high level person. Their low level habits are constantly dragging them down. If they don't improve these habits, then it is inevitable that they change to become low level people and adopt the same mentality. There is an obvious, simple solution here. Let go of all low level habits and replace them with high level habits. Can someone be a low level person with high level habits? Yes, but their success is limited, and unbeknownst to them, their low level mentality is holding them down and back. Why is everyone a high level person? I believe everyone has the potential to be a high level person. It has a lot to do with how we are raised and the program we adopt, which becomes our way of doing things. It also has much to do with our education, whether it is the university route or practice mentoring route or simply self taught. The greater the teacher, the higher chance of greatness from the student. Ideally, a human being's trajectory is upward because it is in our nature to become better and better at everything we do. Our program has much to do with this because our habits, they lie within our program. From time to time, we experiment and sometimes adopt new habits into our program. But at times, there are some habits that are so dangerous to our upward improving that they unknowingly, without us being fully aware, they deteriorate our program or way of doing things. Before we know it, we are spiraling down without a clue how to stop this dive. Settling and surrendering are such dangerous habits. These can cause the ground to slide right out from under our feet. Settling ends a decision-making process, and that may be the only benefit to it. Sometimes people are willing to give away anything to avoid confrontation. And I get it. But what if instead of confrontation, you transmute into this incident into a negotiation instead? Change the situation into a negotiation. Instead, okay, I give up. I'm tired of you battering me or dogging me, whatever. Can I do that? You're asking. A better question is, can another person create a confrontation without your participation? Confrontations require the person being confronted to allow themselves to be triggered into participating into the confrontation. So until now, you may have believed that a confrontation was something you just wanted to get away from and were willing to do most anything to achieve. That in itself is a trigger that the confronter uses against you to trigger you into submitting to their demands. And you have, by conceding, whatever the confronter wanted. So what would this look like if you unwired that trigger and instead made a conscious choice to convert this aggression from this other person, which is exactly what a confrontation is, into a negotiation? For example, you already cringe because you see Malachi crossing the office and making his way to you, an evident agenda on his face and in his posture. He starts the conversation before even arriving in your conversational space with you. He says, I have a problem. I hope you have a solution for me right away. He goes on, the seating arrangements you submitted is problematic for several of my clients who should be at my table for the Client Achievement Award dinner. His demeanor requires nothing less than capitulation and submitting to his requirements. Capitulation is simpler described as surrender and submission. For our intent and purpose, I will use submission here because it deeper describes what you are doing in order to end this confrontation. Is it possible to solve this with Malachi getting what he wants without surrendering? Sure, of course. Surrender is a state of mind, which is the danger here. It's the actual state of mind of the surrendering is what is the danger. It's not that Malachi is getting what he wants. There's two ways Malachi can get what he wants. He can get what he wants by intimidating you and you surrendering. He can also get what he wants by you negotiating with him. Instead of being triggered into giving this person whatever they want because of their posturing, you choose to consciously convert the scene into a negotiation by replying, I really appreciate you bringing this to my attention. Your concerns are valid and worth me looking at for their consideration. Right now, though, I'm 15 minutes away from a presentation for the senior staff. So I will make a note of this and revisit it with you in my earliest schedule opening. I will send you a link to my calendar after my presentation. Thanks for bringing this to my attention again. If he insists on further pressuring you, then invite him to consider if he didn't understand everything you just shared with him. Now you're no longer the person that is wanting to get away from him. Now you're the person that is trying to help him understand to make sure that he understood everything that you said. And you're really putting him in a position where he has to admit, and for a bully, that's hard. He's going to have to admit that he doesn't understand everything that you said. And that will, in his eyes, put him in a weaker position. Perhaps you weren't clear on something where he could not understand my response. Perhaps I wasn't clear on something where you could not understand my response. Malachi has an option here. Option one, continue to bulldoze ahead and risk looking like a bully that he is. Option two, accept your response and await your calendar opening to resolve this issue. Not only did you turn this form of confrontation to a negotiation, but you also set the stage for future encounters that you will handle all matters in your own fashion from here on. Or you will require him to explain how or why you did not respond to him in a way he should have fully understood your response. Good stuff, right? So two things happened here for your way of doing things. Modus operandi, i.e. your mind's program, first you ended submission and you ended giving up everything to avoid a confrontation. Here you put the tool of submission down because you see it clearly did not serve you and never has. Second, you replace that tool with another tool, negotiation. Negotiation tool is very powerful. When it works, you're more likely to pick it up again and again to use in the situation that's using this tool will evolve to your advantage and even a greater good. Here comes the super cool part, if that's not cool enough. As if this ending or submission wasn't enough already and a huge impact in your life. When you see that your submission no longer works, then you consciously decide to avoid using it because it doesn't give you what you want. Remember, one of my favorite anecdotes and much how our program operates is the way we do anything is the way we do everything. So once we adopt something that doesn't work well, then we're going to adopt it in other areas of our lives. And then we're going to have a tool laterally across our life that's not working well. When we see that the submission tool no longer works or never has, and consciously choose to avoid it, using it, then we also avoid using it laterally across our life. We stop submitting to the school teacher who is making disciplining your kid a hobby, and you end this unfair treatment and behavior by ending submission and introducing negotiation into the conversation with your kid's teacher. We stop submitting at home when our partner is nagging to do something they wanted you to do for some time now. You eliminate the submission tool and you introduce the negotiation tool. Here you shift from being a coward to being a real partner, which is, by the way, your partner has been waiting for desperately. Yeah, I know. Seems counterintuitive that their nagging is ended by you stepping into the person that is training to be the highest and best version of you. Total shift in the relationship for the better. If it's not for the better, then you may be in the wrong relationship. I mean, if your relationship requires that you allow yourself to be nagged and criticized constantly, and without this beatdown, your partner is not willing to go on in the relationship with you, then I say good riddance. I'm sure there are plenty of other people out there that can benefit from their nagging, which is degrading and destructive. It's your choice, of course. In my life, nor in any of my relationships, there's no room for degrading and destructive behavior ever. And if you want to live your best life, then there cannot be this degrading and destructive behavior either, from them nor from you. Another example where submission is ended and negotiation is now your new way of doing things is everything in your life. Look at your life and see everywhere you have submitted. Submission equals being the victim. It's an inevitable destination to become a victim when you use the submission tool. This was but one dangerous habit that can drag and put us into a downward spiral. So can you guys see how imperative it is to be aware of the tools we are using? Not just because of the results it brings, moreover, because that tool gets used in every other area of our life. And if that tool doesn't lift you up and others, then it should be replaced with a better tool. If you're striving to become a higher level person, then let go of your habits that are not giving you what you want in life. Then look at the characteristics of a high level person and adopt and incorporate these traits and behaviors into your life to level up to the higher level person you want to be. You can figure this out just by the steps I suggested. If you prefer to go through this transformation process on a fast track to become a higher level person, then private message me. I made room for 2 clients to help them in this journey. Usually at this time, I would go into the affirmations and declarations meditation, but that has its own time slot now on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to catch it and let me know how you like it. Last week, I launched the 2024 Inner Peace Challenge, where you can learn how to create inner peace for yourself that will automatically share it out into the world, touching others with inner peace. Consider as one of your New Year's resolutions to accept this challenge, to add this integral part of leveling up to the highest and best version of you. It's free, and it will probably be the cheapest thing you will ever participate in, with the greatest amount of return that you never imagined. Take this epic journey with me at wicm.love. Thanks for sharing a part of your morning with me. I'm grateful that you did, and I hope that you are more self-aware and evolved since we started 30 or so minutes ago. If you can shift in this short of a time, imagine what you can accomplish in a whole day, 1 month, 1 year, etc. In our meditations, we used breathing techniques that enable us to move through the realms of the past, future, and bring us back to the present. Within the breathing techniques, you also were able to affect your blood flow and pressure, as well as your heartbeat, at your will. If you can affect your body's organs functions at your will, imagine what else you have the capability of doing with specific training. We are infinite beings with infinite possibilities. And that's the truth. Have a beautiful day and recall this experience throughout your day, and remember that you can influence your body's and your mind's functions and change how you feel. You also learn to move through past, future, and present realms at will, so you don't get stuck in any of them. Unless it's the present, that's a good one to get stuck in. You can also influence and change how you feel at any given time or moment. And the more you do this, the more I believe you will realize that no one else actually can change you. You're the one doing the changing. There are a lot of abilities that don't even scratch the surface of our human abilities. All it takes is taking charge of our abilities and emotions. I also have a special gift for you that I will send you through Messenger. Just write gift somewhere, I can see it, and I will be sending it to you. Chat soon. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please rate, review, and subscribe to the Ideal Forever Partner Magnet podcast. Your support helps us reach more souls in search of their unconditional true love. Check us out everywhere podcasts. Remember, you have the power to create heaven on earth through unconditional love. This is your life, no one else's. Grasp the courage to strive for the highest and best version of you